It's time to raid Davie Jones' locker, you salty sea dogs. In this video, let's look at Deepdive Jones, my latest G.I. Joe custom classified action figure. So if you want some seamen, this could be the video for you. And let's talk about him on TAKTAK Toys With Film. Yeah, so welcome back to TAKTAK Toys With Film, your home of 1/12 scale or 6-inch action figures and customs of my own design. So here's rock and roll, sort of taking in Deepdive. Here's his thoughts on Deepdive. So yeah, as I mentioned, Deepdive is one of my G.I. Joe classified customs of my own design. This video is not for kids, just remember, and yo Joe. So credit to Tom Mini Plastic Multiverse. Happy birthday, Tom, who gave me the idea to create a squad of Navy SEAL divers to assist Torpedo in underwater combat. And I came up with Deepdive. For some reason, this one was a bit of a challenge to paint. I couldn't get the paint scheme right at first, and I couldn't get the colour scheme I wanted. And paint rub kept occurring in certain areas, such as on the mask, when the mask sort of sat on the head. So I had to really think outside the box, and also his flippers as well when they went in the shoes. So I had to heat everything up to expand it more so than usual. I do like the paint scheme that I've ended up with, this yellow paint scheme. He sort of looks like one of these divers in a Roger Moore 007 film, you know, like the kind of divers that Roger Moore would karate chop on the sort of the back of the neck in one of his 007 Bond films, or villain or something. And speaking of Bond, here is Deepdive next to my G.I. Joe classified 007 Daniel Craig. So there you go, you get a comparison of them side by side. And yep, that's what they look like. And so yeah, he does sort of look like one of these kind of 1980s James Bond villains, but of course he's not. He's a G.I. Joe. He's a Joe, and he fights for freedom wherever there's trouble. And he's sort of part of Torpedo's crew. So yeah, that's my latest custom. We'll dive into him a bit more, but if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash the like button, share, comment and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. So let's have a look at his articulation. The head looks up and down, and obviously side to side. There we go. And yep, as you can see, great head articulation is regular, standard on any G.I. Joe classified figure. In fact, all the articulation is standard on any G.I. Joe classified figure. So as you can see here, the arms go out to a T-pose. You've got full shoulder rotation, double jointed elbows, and you've got, yep, there you go, double jointed elbow in use, full wrist rotation. There you go, 360 degrees. Yep, same on the other side, of course. Full wrist rotation and double jointed elbows, and yep, full wrist rotation where he's holding his weapon there, his assault rifle. Got an ab crunch, as you can see there, and a full waist twist. Yeah, full waist rotation. Thigh cuts, which you can see in use there. Double jointed knees. Yeah, there you go. And cuts sort of at the ankle, and then ankle articulation, or ankle rockers, I suppose you call them. And of course, that's on both sides as well. So there you go. There's the thigh cut, double jointed knees, the cut at the ankle, and yeah, the ankle articulation. So as I say, it's a standard kind of articulation scheme you'd expect from any G.I. Joe classified figure. Yeah, as I say, it kind of was a bit of a difficult one, a challenge to paint, because I couldn't come up with the paint scheme I wanted initially, and then I kind of went for a yellow sort of wetsuit, and yeah, he kind of has that look. Unintentionally, he's come out with that look of a James Bond sort of villain from the 1980s, a Roger Moore film. But again, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash the like button, comment and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. And let's have a look at what Deepdive comes with. So yeah, here's obviously all his gear taken off, but the first thing he comes with is a scuba mask, as you can see here, and that attaches to his scuba tank, his oxygen tank, and obviously that goes on the back, on top of his head. And as I say, I did have to, yep, there you go, as you can see there, it pops right on his head. I did have to heat it up quite a lot to avoid paint rub. Initially, it was rubbing on the nose. The mask was rubbing on Deepdive's nose, so Davie Jones's nose. So I had to heat the mask up. But yeah, it just plugs into the backpack, as you can see here, just the same as on Torpedo. So there you go. And then he comes obviously with that assault rifle he's holding, and he also comes with his flippers. There we go. Again, I heated the flippers up. I actually used a McFarlane Dark Knight Batman once the flippers were heated up with a hairdryer to put the feet into, because obviously their feet are wide. His feet are wider than the figure I use as a custom, so it ended up being quite easy to pop the feet in afterwards. He obviously comes with a knife, there you go, and his harpoon weapon. So yeah, that's all the weapons he comes with, all the his accessories, as you can see there, which are all Torpedo's accessories, fully repainted, just like the figure being fully repainted. And let's do some comparisons. So here is Deepdive next to a Valaverse Action Force Night Ops Trooper, and as you can see, they're scaled perfectly. Valaverse, Action Force, and G.I. Joe Classified. So here we go. Yep, they scale really well together, and as you can see, they're in the backdrop of my diorama. So that's yep. They're ready for battle against any Cobra forces that they may find or encounter. So, yeah, as I say, Valaverse Action Force are an excellent line. They complement G.I. Joe Classified really, really well, as you can see here. And talking of any Cobra forces they may encounter, here's a Cobra Trooper next to Deepdive. So again, yeah, this is obviously from the same line, both two G.I. Joe Classified figures. So you can see how my custom measured up to an official release. So yeah, these are the sort of infantrymen of Cobra. Quite hard to find now, the Cobra infantry troops, but maybe they're going to do a re-release at some point down the line. And here's Deepdive next to a squad of Steel Brigade Night Ops. And yeah, from Action Force Valaverse, ready to do battle should they encounter anything. Obviously, Deepdive is a bit like a fish out of water, being sort of in full scuba gear on a street scene, but that's just how he rolls. So yeah, so I mean, he looks great next to Valaverse Action Force or G.I. Joe Classified, as I said before. And let's put David Deepdive Jones next to Torpedo, which is obviously the figure as I used as a base to make Deepdive. And here he is. Here they are shooting at some Cobra troops and sort of in battle with them. So yeah, as you can see, there's Torpedo and Deepdive side by side. And yep, that's sort of like the original next to my custom. So yeah, as you can see from this that I repainted everything basically. So Torpedo is the original figure, which was in black and white, as you can see here, and I repainted my one in yellow, but did a full repaint of everything. Every single part of Deepdive that you see here has been repainted from what it originally looked like being Torpedo. And of course, we can't do a seaman based comparison video without looking at Shipwreck. So here's Shipwreck alongside Deepdive, David Deepdive Jones. Yeah, and Shipwreck is a sort of childhood G.I. Joe, you know, character which I loved. Had him as in the Action Force form in the 1980s. So here he is, yep, in classified form. And yep, that is a few comparisons with Deepdive with some G.I. Joe Classified figures. So hope you enjoyed those comparisons. Yo, Joe! And feel free to check out my latest video on Chris Bullhorn Sampson, one of my latest other customs. A link for that will be in the comments below. And for some great YouTube channels, you can of course check out Dan Who Reviews with Legends and Liquor, who recently had Dwight Stoll, the real Dwight Stoll, on. Turtles and Tea with Tanner, and Joe's and Juice of course with our host Dan, Tom Mini Plastic Multiverse. Happy birthday, Tom, at the time of this video, and myself talking all the latest G.I. Joe Classified reveals. And of course, we have PulseCon coming up on the 22nd of September, so no doubt there'll be more reveals around that time. And for action figure reviews in the UK, feel free to check out Jay's Toy Collection UK, and I'll put a link to his latest live stream in the comments below, where he talked about the HasLab Giant Man. So yep, and that's every Friday. He's got a live stream, and I'll put a link for that in the comments below. And for Toy Hunt Stateside, you can check out Miguel and the Wolfpack Toy Review. He's got the Trouble Bubbles in recently, so I'm sure he'll no doubt be revealing those on the channel. Or maybe even at the time of this video, they'll already be on his channel. But if so, I'll put a link in the comments below. Feel free to check out Agent Z-Man, and check out Big Wheel Pixels and Plastic. And you can check out Photo Dave and Toy Pix. And why not check out Dante and the Infinity Equation for the latest action figure chat and pop culture discussion. And you can check out Why So Serious Toys. And feel free to check out Brian's action figure reviews for Action Figure Reviews in Ireland. And you can check out Cypher Sigma for all the latest toy pickups and film reviews. And for all the latest pop music covers, you can of course check out Elson Official Music Channel, YouTube channel. And links for all these YouTube channels I mentioned will be in the comments below. And for all things Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions and more, you can check out Trevor the 1/6 Shooter. And feel free to check out Austin the Hero of Collectors. And of course you can check out the 3POA podcast for action figure chat and pop culture discussion with Ryan Laserpants, Tony of Analog Toys and Bobby Valor of Valorverse Action Force. So yeah, that's my video. Those are some great YouTube channels to check out, and that's my video on David Deepdive Jones. Do you have any G.I. Joe classified in your collection? Do you have any customs in your collection? Do you make customs yourself? Let me know in the comments below. And for all the latest film and TV reviews, feel free to check out Film and TV Review YouTube channel. Yeah, and I'll put a link for that in the comments below. So, as I mentioned, I really love collecting G.I. Joe classified. I love making my own versions of characters. Let me know what you do with your collection in the comments below. And if you want to pick up Torpedo and make any customs of your own, you can go to TAKTAK Toys. And this is one of our great online UK independent retailers in the UK. And there's plenty more, and I'm going to go through them. And that, of course, you can have a look at Comics and Cocktails. And why not check out Props and Replicas? And you, of course, can check out Invincible Toys over in the US. And they're futuristic combat soldiers, and I'll put a link to them on Big Bad Toy Store in the comments below. And they do have fist action figures coming up later in the year, and you can check out the whole shebang. And why not check out Valorverse Action Force with international shipping for all your Action Force needs. And you can of course check out all the cool stuff, and feel free to check out Star Action figures, and you can check out Gobsmack Comics. And feel free to check out In Demand Toys, and links for all these excellent UK online independent retailers, and of course Invincible Toys and Valorverse are in the comments below. So many thanks for watching. I know I do always say this in every video, but it is really appreciated. Your support makes these videos possible. Let me know any thoughts, opinions or comments you have on this video in the comments below. Yeah, and hopefully this video has given you inspiration for any customs of your own. I hope so. And until next time, just make sure that you enjoy those flicks and figs.